Lindsey Graham, one of his closest advisors is a guy named Richard Quinn, writes Flaydam over at Coase, Daily Coase. He, for many years, edited a magazine called Southern Partisan. In his capacity as editor, it was in his capacity as editor that Quinn wrote that Martin Luther King, I'm quoting now from Flaydam's post over at Daily Coase, wrote that Martin Luther King Jr.'s role in the civil rights movement was, quote, to lead his people into a perpetual dependence on the welfare state, a terrible bondage of body and soul, end quote. He called Nelson Mandela a terrorist and a bad egg. And about David Duke's election, he wrote, what better way to reject politics as usual than to elect a maverick like David Duke? And in one column, he called Martin Luther King's day's purpose vitriolic and profane. Now, this is one of Lindsey Graham's closest advisors. So you got the number 3 Republican in the U.S. House of Representatives who works closely with Kevin McCarthy and John Boehner. It's the 3 of them. They basically run the House. Running on a platform in Louisiana that was basically, I'm with David Duke, but he's not electable because he's viewed as a crackpot, so elect me. That's Steve Scalise. And then you've got Mr. Quinn, Richard Quinn, who's the advisor to Lindsey Graham, the senator from South Carolina. And nobody is saying that their racism is unpatriotic. In fact, to the best of my knowledge, nobody's saying anybody's racism is unpatriotic. Isn't racism unpatriotic? I mean, I realize that this country was based on racism. It was based on a genocide of Native Americans. It was based on a Holocaust for African Americans. Concentration camps all across the South called plantations. I get that. But why are these people not called something beyond just bigots? Like, bigots is such a soft word, right? Even racists has become a soft word. In the Republican Party, being called a racist, it'll actually get you elected. Why are we not calling this unpatriotic? In fact, why are we not calling this traitorous? The Stars and Bars was the flag of Robert E. Lee of the Northern Virginia Army. It was not the flag of the Confederacy in South Carolina or in Georgia or in Alabama or in Louisiana, where it's on the flag of the state. It was just the flag under which Robert E. Lee fought. And it was only put up in 1962 to protest busing and integration and Brown v. Board and the possibility of a Voting Rights Act and a Civil Rights Act.
You're listening to the Thom Hartmann Program. Call 202-536-2370.
Why are these Republicans who weasel around, dance around their own racism, and then get themselves elected on it like Ronald Reagan did? Why are they not called out as being traitors, essentially?